For more on Rolls' push into electric, Adam Johnson joins us now with a special guest. AJ?
Hey, thanks, Mark. Well, we're joined by Torsten Mueller-Oetvoes, the CEO of Rolls-Royce Motor Cars. Torsten, you're in Chicago. Thanks for joining us. Last year, 2010, was a record for Rolls-Royce. How are you selling cars in this economy?
For us, it was an excellent year, I must say. We had plus 170%, which is outstanding. We see that economy on a worldwide basis is recovering, and for that reason we also saw a great pickup in our sales. Of course, we also launched our new model in the beginning of last year, the RollsRoyce Growth, which also gave us an additional boost and helped to achieve that great result.
Now, everyone talks about China, India, emerging markets. Is that where you're making the sales as opposed to here in the U.S.?
No, the United States, you will be amazed, is still our biggest market in the world, and always was traditionally. So you can say that growth holds true for all markets worldwide. Europe, Middle East, Asia. But of course you're right, particularly Asia is a very interesting market for us. Not only China, but also India, Korea, and also Japan.
All right, you're looking for 10% growth overall for 2011. Where's your strongest market? Where are you going to see the highest growth?
Highest growth currently is in all Asian regions, and particularly here in the Chinese market. But we also see growth in the Middle East market compared to the previous year, and also here in the United States compared to the first 5 months last year.
All right, now also you heard Mark just a moment ago talking about the electric car. Talk to us about an electric Rolls-Royce. Doesn't seem to jibe with what you think of when you think of Rolls-Royce.
I mean, the reason for that 102EX, the electric Phantom, is that this is a market research project on wheels, to say it that way. I'm convinced that also Rolls-Royce Motor Cars needs to look into alternative drivetrains long term, and for that reason we have set up that test project. The reason behind that is that I want to get in dialogue with our consumers, customers, prospects, to find out what is the most appropriate way to go in terms of alternative drivetrains with Rolls-Royce Motor Cars. And for that reason we have designed that electric car where we sit in our clients and then we have a chat on what is the most appropriate one. And is it perfection or is it compromise? And
potentially available when?
Available in a way of that we are sending that car currently all over the world. It starts currently the tour in all European markets and will be later this year also here in the United States. But currently that car is a one-off. There's only one car available and this is the car. And we make up our mind after we have finished that whole test phase over 1 year. So in 1 year we know better what to do.
Now, another surprise, you're doing a deal with the Mini. And again, the Mini is at the polar end of the spectrum from Rolls-Royce. Why would you partner with Mini?
I mean, that is not a Mini done by Rolls-Royce. We inspired the colleagues in Mini doing such a car. It's called the Mini, inspired by Goodwood. And we helped them a little bit with materials, with trim, with wood, and also, let's say, the way we design our cars. So this is it. But the car is not produced in Goodwood at all. It is produced in the Mini plant in Oxford in the UK.
All right, your parent, people may not realize that you're owned by BMW, and BMW is investing about $100 million in a plant out in Seattle for carbon fiber. Any chance carbon fiber finds its way into Rolls-Royce?
I wouldn't outrule that. So we are currently thinking about our long-term perspectives, long-term future product strategy perspectives. So maybe, but there are no, let's say, fundamental plans currently on our hands.
Okay, I have to ask you, because there's not a lot of plastic in a Rolls-Royce. It's all heavy materials, commodities, steel, aluminum, etc. What have rising commodities done to the margins at Rolls-Royce?
Not a lot, I must say. Not in a way of that we had been affected dramatically. I mean, what we have seen is that we had a big impact in terms of our bespoke business, which means you can individualize your car to the utmost, and more customers are doing that. In the meantime, we have 80% of all our Phantoms are heavily bespoke cars, which means for us additional contribution margin. So we easily could cope with some, let's say, rise in steel prices and aluminum prices.
Okay, Torsten, thank you very much for joining us from Chicago. And if you need any opinions on that new Rolls-Royce, feel free to send one over. We'll be happy to test drive it for you, Mark.
Excellent. Thanks a lot for that. We will do that. Thanks.